Hey everyone, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. This is a video where I'm going to do another shipping and packing tip for you, and it has to do with large signs that you may not have a box for at your disposal, and so you have to be a little bit creative in coming up with a way to ship it so that it gets to its destination safely and without any damage occurring to it. And I'm going to show you a way that I have used many times with this exact size sign and type of sign and other ones that are about this size, and I've never had a problem with it. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about and what to do. Now this sign, which may be familiar to some of you who've watched my channel before, this is this 3D Jack Daniel's sign, which has different views depending on what angle and what light that you look at. It's got the woman there that really sells it, the brunette laying on top of the bottle. As you know from watching my prior videos, I get these for 10 bucks a piece, and I sell them anywhere between $55 and $75. This one sold for $60 through eBay's global shipping program, and it's going to Turkey. It's bought and paid for, so it needs to get shipped and packed up. So how I'm going to do this is, the first thing, forget the box for a second. We just have to make sure that it's protected, because we don't want this hard covering inside here getting damaged at all. Luckily it is sealed, and it does have the some protection naturally to it on the corners with the cardboard, but the main thing we don't want to get damaged is this part right here, or that will definitely result in a return, so we don't want that. So what we have to do first is we have to protect it with bubble wrap. And so what I would definitely suggest is don't use the thin, small little bubbles. You want to make sure you use these big bubbles right here, the large bubble wrap bubbles. So what we're going to do is just lay it down like this. I've got one panel here, and then I've got another one right next to it over here. And we're just going to lay it down so that the middle of the bubble wrap is kind of nestling over it halfway. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So I'm just going to put this like right about here, so I could bring this flap right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tape that up right there. So just going to take some Scotch tape, and I'm just going to put some tape on it right there. Just tape the edges together. So now what I have is a piece that looks like that. But now I've got to get some around this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly overlap it like this. And then I'm just going to turn it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bridge it by going horizontally with the tape. So now I've connected the two sides together, just like that. Put another one right here. So now we've got it connected right here, and we've got it taped on. So now what we just have to do is tape these edges over like that. So all you have to do is pull down, tuck, and just put a piece of tape on it like that. So you're just closing that seam, and we're just going to do that along the edge. You don't have to do it on every single part. You just have to do it enough to make sure you got it nice and make sure you have it nice and closed. So I'm going to put one here. Put one there. One there. Okay, so now this side is done, and now we're just going to go to the other side, and we're just going to close that up. Again, just so you see what I'm doing, I'm just tucking. So you see what I'm doing, I'm just tucking. And just so you see what I'm doing, I'm just tucking this part in right there, and then I'm just pulling that over. And that makes it nice and tight, nice and snug, and then I just tape it right there, like here. Get a piece of tape, Just seal it over in the middle. And then we'll just do the same thing here, and we'll just do the same thing right there. Okay, so now this part's done. This side's done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because this is just Scotch tape on it right now, I'm just going to take a nice piece of regular packing tape and just tape all the way around it so that it keeps it nice and snug. This is going to prevent it from coming apart, so we don't want that to happen. So just going to take, this is a 3-inch tape roll right here. It's going to go like that. Just bring it around. And that's it. So there we go. It's nice and connected now. No way it's going to come apart. Okay, so here's the part where you run into a dilemma, right? You have this sign, you sold it, and if you're like most resellers, the types of boxes that you have sitting around your house are like this. Obviously, this is not going to fit inside of this. Not going to work. Now maybe you have a bigger box like this laying around, but most of them are not going to be big enough to fit a sign like this. You see, this would not fit because it's going over there. It's going over that flap, not going to close, not going to sell. Now, if you did have a sign big enough like this to put it in, obviously that would work for you. Just pad it up and you're all set to go. But the reason I'm doing this video is for people who don't have something that size laying around. So what do you do in that situation? What you're going to do is you're going to take a box that's either this size, or you're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to get broken down bread boxes or large broken down Amazon boxes. You're going to save those from when those get shipped over to you, and you're going to store them just for an event like this. You don't have to keep them around this size because that obviously does take up a lot of space. I just wanted to show you what one of them might look like. But what you could do just to keep them in storage is you just take this tape off of the other end, peel it off, then just close it, and now it's very easy to store because it's nice and flat. Very simple. And as you can see, one of these side panels right here is big enough that this sign is going to fit right on top of it. Why is that important? I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do now is we are going to cut this box right down one of the seams so that we could open it up. I'll show you why we're going to do that in just a moment. So one of the things that I would suggest if you're cutting strong and thick pieces of cardboard is that you invest in a pair of shear scissors. It makes it so much easier to cut through cardboard. It's like cutting through butter. If you use a standard pair of scissors, this is going to be very frustrating and annoying. I'm going to put a link to these exact scissors down below in the description section. If you're interested in purchasing those through the Amazon website, you can do so. It's a product link, and I get a small little commission out of it if you decide to purchase it or anything else through that link. So if you want to get that, I appreciate it. It'll help me out. What you do here is you're just going to cut down the seam. So now we've opened up the box, and I'm going to show you why that's important. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the cardboard panel that this sign would fit neatly onto so that there's not any overlap, and that would be this panel right there. You could see it fits neatly right onto it. This one here would be a little too small because it's overlapping the seams right here, so we don't want that. So we're going to put it right here, and then what we do is we're going to take this flap over here and we're going to just fold it right over it like that one. Now we're going to do the same thing with this panel right here, but this piece over here to the left is extra, so we don't need that, so we're going to cut that part off. Okay, so I just put that sign to the side for a second because I don't want it to fall down or get damaged or anything like that. Okay, so now this flap is off. Just going to put it off to the side, and I'll use that for other cardboard purposes, for something else. So That's how I get a lot of these cardboard scraps that you see up top, is just for those pieces that get tossed aside. You know, you could use them for something else down the road, just cut them up into smaller pieces. Okay, so I just turned this piece of cardboard so you could see it better, so you can understand what's going to happen here in terms of why this is a nice protective system for the sign. Because now we have that part that fits the sign size right in the middle, and just going to wedge this right in here and push this part down. And when it pushes down like this in the corner, it makes a really, really nice, strong, protective barrier. I'm going to show it to you more once everything's folded up, and you can see how it's just wedged in there, and it's not going to move. So then we're going to take this one here, and we're just going to fold this right over like that. Okay, so I turned the cardboard like this so you could see it better, and the part that fits the sign is right here. And as you can see, these flaps are also extra. We're not going to need those flaps, so I'm going to cut those flaps off as well. I'm just going to cut off this last flap here, and just keep in mind that every box is different in terms of the types of adjustments and the types of trimming that you need to do to it. So this is just, I'm just trying to show you the general principles. So you'll just have to adjust accordingly depending on the size of the box that you have and also the size of the sign that you have. But let's go grab the sign, and now we're going to put it right there. Now you can see it's nice and wedged in there. I don't have any annoying flaps that are getting in my way, so now I could really work easily. All I have to do now is push this over like that, and you can see here that gives me this seam right here, and all I got to do is turn it over like this. And now I have got, look at those sides right there. You see that? That's nice and strong. It creates almost like a strong, almost like a book binding on that side. And also on this side right here, it's really, really nice and strong when it's bent like that. And it really protects the sign. So what I need to do at this point is I need to make sure this gets taped down really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is make sure the sign is evenly distributed within the box flaps. So I'm going to make sure there's an even margin on both sides with the cardboard. So just push it over a little bit to the right. So I've got a nice margin here, a nice margin here. And then I'm just going to push it back flush against the back of the box. I'm going to push it down like this. I'm going to push this side over like that. And I'm just going to get a piece of the 3-inch tape, and I'm just going to close the seam initially, just like that. So I just got it closed. I'll close this end too, just so that it doesn't pop up. And I'm going to close this end right here. All right, so the reason why I take a piece of tape, put one here, put one here, and put one here, is I don't want this flap opening up as I'm trying to work with it. If I just put one piece of tape here, there's a chance that the flap is going to push open on each end. It's going to push the tape up, and it's just going to be annoying. I have to keep pressing it down, and then it's going to pop up again. So putting one there, and here prevents that from happening. There's no need to tape down the entire seam right now. We will do that towards the end. But right now, what I really need to focus on is getting this part taped down and secure, and this part taped down and secure, because right now it's open and exposed. Obviously, the sign would fly out of there if I tried to send it that way. What some people do in this situation, which is a mistake, is they will take a piece of tape like this, and they will just take it, they will put it over like that. So see there, we've got the tape then right there, and they will use this as their barrier. That's a problem because the tape is not as strong as the cardboard, so it could get punctured, and then your sign's going to get damaged even though there's bubble wrap around it. Or it could easily get loose, fall apart, and then it falls out of the package in transit. We don't want that to happen either. So what we're going to do is use what I call the pinch down technique. Is we are going to take this cardboard flap, and we're going to push it down like that, as if it is a mouth that is closed. So you got to picture those as being two lips that are closed down and sealed. And you start the piece of tape right there. So you already have it on there. And now I can't do this with it over, well, I probably could, but to make it a little easier, what we're going to do, just to show you, is have the tape set. It's already started. And I'm just going to push this down, and I'm going to pull this over nice and tight, just like that. So that you see there, it is nice and sealed. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab another piece of tape. I wanna push down, I'm gonna tape it down here, then I'm gonna push another piece down, tape it down here. So both ends I'm gonna get down, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like in just a moment once this whole thing is taped up. And now that I have one there, there, and there, I'm gonna work around the other parts that are open and exposed, like right here. I'm gonna seal those off, and I'm gonna show you what this side looks like in a moment. Okay, so just to show you what this looks like now, if you go along with me, you'll see here, this is nice and closed all the way across the seam. Now at the very edge of it, right, you might have like this little part that's exposed. You could see I started a little piece of tape right here. Okay, so what we'll do in a situation like that is all you have to do is take another piece of tape, a second piece, and do that same pinch and pull down technique, and it will work on closing that gap. Watch, I'll just show you. So we'll just take another piece of tape right here, just pull it off. We'll overlay it right here, so you can see like that. So there's that little space there. We want to get that closed up. So I'm just going to pinch it down like this. Just going to pull it over, nice and tight. Just be nice and strong. And now you can see there, it's sealed up. So we've got this whole side nice and sealed. And what we're going to do now is the same exact thing on the other side. And now we have a nice strong box. I mean, look at that nice strong edge like that right there. I mean, that is really nice right there. Right there, it's taped down so securely. And we just custom made a nice, strong, solid box for this sign. It is not going to get damaged. I mean, it is rock solid in there. And that's how you make a customized box for your signs if you don't have one laying around that's going to fit it. You just have to make one. I create boxes like this all the time for things that are all sorts of weird and strange sizes. So I hope that you liked this video and could use it and could build upon it to create customized boxes for big items that you are also selling and that are flat like that and that you need to get out. So if you like this video and it helps you out, please make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment down below if you ever use this technique and it's helpful for you. Also, if you have just tips of your own that you like to share, make sure you do that as well. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so we are getting close. We're like 619, so watching that count, so help me get there. Other thing, come to my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, if you want more tips and tricks about reselling in a fun, friendly atmosphere. I'd love to see you there. The link is down below. Just click join and I'll let you right in. See you later, everyone.